وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, once again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the great opportunity of fasting the 6 days of Shawwal in order to increase our reward and get nearness to Him. I know that many people neglect the fasting of the 6 days of Shawwal, given the fact that it's a voluntary fasting. My question is, why we never neglect our sunnah prayers? Why we never neglect our voluntary prayers? Is it not because of the great virtues and significance that are attached to them? Similarly, the 6 days of Shawwal are equally virtuous and significant. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam makes mention in the narration of Muslim that man sama Ramadana thumma atba'ahu sittan min Shawwal kana kasiyamid dar. Whoever observes the month of Ramadan in fasting and thereafter follows it with the 6 days of Shawwal, it's equivalent to fasting the entire year. What a great reward. And our scholars of hadith simplify it to us. And they say that al-hasana bi'ashir amthaliha. Doing one good act, Allah will reward you 10 in return. And Allah has declared it towards the end of Surah Al-An'am. مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ فَلَهُ عَشْرُ أَمْثَالِهَا. Whoever does a good act, Allah says that we reward him 10 in return. 10 in return for one good act. And the scholars of hadith, they further mention that if you multiply 1 month of Ramadan by 10, you will get 10 months of fasting in return. And if you want to complete the entire year of fasting, you only have to fast the additional 6 days of Shawwal, because 6 multiplied by 10 gives you to 60 days, which is equivalent to 2 months. Now, 2 months plus your 10 months of Ramadan gives you the entire year of fasting. Subhanallah. That means that if you fast Ramadan every year in your life, and then you fast the 6 days of Shawwal every year in your life, you will meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you have spent your entire lifespan in fasting. And very quickly, looking at some juristic ruling pertaining to the fasting of Shawwal. Because people ask questions. Can I fast the 6 days of Shawwal consecutively, one after another? Or am I allowed to separate them? Look, even though that the consecutive fasting of Shawwal is recommendable, it is also important to note that it's allowed to separate them, to fast them individually. You can fast today, skip tomorrow, fast next week, as long as you complete the 6 days of Shawwal within the month of Shawwal. Secondly, what if I've missed any days of Ramadan? Can I still fast in this month? Or should I first make up on my missed days? There are two opinions. There are those scholars who are in the opinion that if you have missed any days of Ramadan, you first have to make them up before you fast the 6 days of Shawwal. However, there are majority of scholars that have given a concession that you don't have to make up for the missed days before you fast the 6 days of Shawwal. In other words, you are allowed to fast 6 days of Shawwal without making up your fasting. You can make up your fasting any time of the year. And this is substantiated with the narration of Aisha radiallahu anha in al-Bukhari, where she makes mention that she would make up her missed days of Ramadan a month prior to Ramadan in Sha'ban. But do we understand from that Aisha would not fast Shawwal? No. She was the most righteous woman. So scholars have deduced from this that it's allowed to delay your missed days of Ramadan and fast your 6 days of Shawwal. You can still make up and catch up with your missed days, inshallah. With this, I encourage you all that let's not allow our negligence and our laziness to deprive us from this great reward. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspire us all. Wa jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.